Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. Today it's all about attacking and breaking the opponent's defense, but today's attacking video is different from others. We're gonna have a lot of in-game examples, so let's begin on the side of build-up. Mastering the art of build-up consistently, you have to learn the possession playstyle, the skill to reach the opponent's goal as many times as possible without reckless loss of ball possession. It's not all about keeping the ball as many minutes as possible. No, that's not what we want. We want a steady build-up without taking unaware passes, dribbling recklessly due to over-dribbling, taking your time and don't rush things. It's all about ball management, knowing when to pass and dribble, as we gonna look at in this video. So what are the advantages of possession playstyle? 1. You develop the calm and cool mindset. You feel that control of the game. 2. You reduce on the reckless loss of possession. Here you can build up consistently and reach the final third. 3. The opponent have less opportunities of attacking you. As you control the game and keep the ball under your control, you don't overlose the ball. Here the opponent will have less opportunity to have the ball and attack, because if the opponent gets that opportunity and he attacks and he misses his chance, then it will take some time for him to win the ball back and have that opportunity again to attack. And that takes us to the last advantage. It forces the opponent to drag out defenders. He's not having the ball a lot of the times. Some opponents will lose the patience and try to press the ball. Here they will overcommit with their defenders, dragging them out of positions, and you punish them. But to control possession you need to be aware of everything, including the way the opponent is moving his defenders. That's why you need to train yourself the skill of reading the opponent's defender movements. You have to watch out what the opponent is doing with his defenders and react accordingly. Reading the opponent's defender will give you the knowledge on how to balance between passing and dribbling while building up. Passing and dribbling are the most crucial fundamentals of attacking. You need the knowledge on when to pass and when to keep hold of the ball and dribble. So let's start on when you should be passing the ball. 1. When the passing lane towards the ball receiver is open, or there's no opponent's defender blocking that passing lane. This is just obvious and everyone understands this logic. Free open passing lane, take the pass because there's no chance of you losing the ball, or the pass getting intercepted. 2. When the opponent's defender is approaching your player, or the ball holder, if the passing lane is open, don't overthink, just pass the ball and get rid of the incoming pressure. Move the ball to another player, as simple as that. But even if the pass lane is blocked by the opponent's defender, still you can pass the ball. You have many players on the pitch, just change and look for another passing options. As you attempt to pass to that player your mind is focused on, also watch the opponent's defender and see what's he doing with that defender. If he's trying to block that passing lane, don't risk to take it, just keep the ball safe and pass to another option available. Here you will avoid passing into blocked passing lanes. If you watch out the opponent's defender movements, it gives you the knowledge on what to do. So that was all about when to pass the ball, but what about when you should keep hold of the ball and dribble? When there's less or no passing option available around that player with the ball. If there's no passing option, then there's no reason to pass. You need to dribble and hold the ball for a couple of seconds. Your players will automatically come near the ball holder and you will have options. 2. You need to observe what the opponent is doing with his defender. If he's passive, meaning the opponent is focused on cutting the passing lanes, here there's no reason to force the pass. Keep hold of the ball and dribble. The opponent will be forced to approach that ball holder, dribble and change directions looking for other open passing lanes. Here the opponent has to react. Remember, you have many players on the pitch. Don't force yourself on just one closed passing lane. Another important tip is that you can also dribble even if the opponent is approaching your player. When the opponent is approaching your player and you have no or less passing options, you can fake directions. By the way, you have to learn the trick of faking directions while dribbling. This is how you will escape some situations, faking directions or keeping the ball safe while dribbling, where you put your player in between the ball and the opponent's defender, giving hard time for the opponent to tackle that ball. But remember, sometimes it's okay to pass back to your center back. You should involve them while building up to recycle the ball and trick the opponent into pulling out his defenders. What about receiving the ball? Here you also need to observe the opponent's defender movement and also the space around you. If the opponent is coming from a certain direction, you need to notice that and control the ball into the space. Controlling the ball is one of the crucial skills you need to learn in order for you to improve your game. Don't turn into the opponent's defender. Here you will lose the ball, and that's not what we need while building up. You should keep everything safe. And remember, passing first time will be the best option sometimes. If the opponent's defender is tightly marking your ball receiver, passing the ball first time will be the best idea that moment. In learning process there are mistakes which everyone makes and we have to learn from them. On the point of experience you have to make mistakes, but here are some of the mistakes you should avoid. I personally know these mistakes will hold you back, so take a look at them. Number 1, waiting for the opponent to switch before you make a move, because I have told you to watch out which defender is selected by opponent. What's he doing with that defender? I know some of you will have the opportunity to make your move, but since you want to read the opponent's defender movement, and the opponent delays in his player switch, you will also wait. I know this mistake is very common. Don't wait for the opponent. If the passing lane is open, just pass the ball. Not only that, but if the defender is not selected yet and he's near your ball holder, you can still dribble past the defender with pace and punish the opponent. And that takes us to the second mistake. Over-dribbling, especially with your midfielders. If you want to concede as many goals as you wish, lose the ball oftenly with your midfielders or center backs. That's very punishable and many times you will concede. As I earlier told you, passing forward is not always the only option you have. You can pass the ball to your midfielders, your fullbacks are there, the center backs and also your goalkeeper. But this mistake of thinking I should out-dribble the opponent and move forward, if you have the passing options available, then you shouldn't over-dribble. Pass the ball and beat that incoming pressure. So to understand more, take a look at these examples. So let's begin on this easy and quick example. Here I throw the ball to my winger, but the opponent is tightly marking him, so I decide to pass back first time. There's no need to control the ball in this situation. The opponent switches and I realize he's trying to block the pass to this player. That's why I didn't take that pass and dribble a little bit, then I pass to my winger again. I control the ball into the space. This moment I realize the opponent is cutting this pass, so I decide to just dribble forward. Now this is where I need you guys to oftenly reach while building up the final third. You need to reach the opponent's box as many times as you can when you're dribbling. If you reach here, it means you have successfully managed to build up steadily. Now the chance creation logic begins here. We shall look at that also. So make sure you build up following each step one by one and learn them. The second example, somehow long but very helpful. Here after conceding, I pass to my center back then to my fullback, because these passes have been free and open. Now here this passing lane to my winger is open, but I don't want to take that pass because I will be having few players, like 2 against 4 opponent's defenders. So as the opponent is fully sprinting to that direction, I perform the fake shot stop and change the direction. He blocks this passing lane and I decide to pass to my midfielder. I control the ball, the opponent reacts and approach my player, so I decide to pass the ball to my center back, as you have to do sometimes. I little bit take this risky pass, which I shouldn't do, because I was sure he can't reach into the lane in time, but though I got lucky with it, I turn and begin dribbling. As the opponent is still chasing my player from behind, this pass is open, so I just take it. So this moment, the opponent is very passive, actively watching out my passing options. That's why I remain patient and keep on holding the ball, not rushing things, and I finally manage to find my fullback. I dribble a little bit forward and notice the opponent rushing towards this direction, though this pass was open and I should take it. But that's on different topic of chance creation, so I decide to change the direction and pass the ball inside. So as soon I notice the opponent has lost his patience, because he pulled out his center back out his position, and I have reached the final third, so that's when I change things to chance creation. But you have realized how I keep the ball safe all the time. I take my time until I reach the opponent's box. I want that slow but steady build up. Last but not least, here I win the ball. I pass it back to my center back, then to my fullback, as I don't want to overhold the ball with my center backs. I control the ball and notice the opponent trying to block this passing lane, which means I have space in front here. So I dribble forward and pass the ball to my winger, controlling the ball, realizing the opponent is still controlling his midfielder. So I just turn into the space without any pressure, and I also learned that he's not willing to switch immediately to this fullback. So I decide to beat this fullback with pace. I don't dribble directly into this a defender, but I dribble aside. I sprint and the opponent realizes it and he switches, but he was too late for him to catch my running player. I managed to reach the final third in transit from build-up to chance creation. I score this goal and punish the opponent for delay in his player switches. The last example, here I pass the ball to my fullback, the opponent rushes to block this passing lane. This situation, don't attempt to take this pass, and so I turn away. This player is free and I pass to him. I control the ball and the opponent rushes to press. I turn away and keep the ball safe, but I ended up passing it to my fullback. I control the ball and I realize the opponent is trying to block this passing lane to my winger. So I turn inside and pass to my midfielder. I notice the opponent didn't rush to press my player. So I hold the ball a little bit. I make some fake turns and pass to my striker. The opponent immediately switches to his fullback and attempt to cut this passing lane to my winger. So I didn't rush to take that pass and I just keep on holding the ball. I notice my player running forward and didn't hesitate. I position my player very well away from the pressure and take that through pass. Though in the end I was unable to score, but still it's a good example to illustrate how you should always keep your eyes on the opponent's defenders. So let's have a little bit of an idea. FIFA 23 is about to end. Why don't you use this time and practice these mechanics one by one? As of today, go into the match and your focus is on reading the opponent's defender movements. Don't mind about the results, even if you lose the match. In fact, don't play to win, play to learn. Because by the time you try and win, you'll force yourself into playing using your old instincts. Use this time and train new instincts into your gameplay. By the time the new game is released, you will see some improvements reached a certain level. You need to focus on one by one, on the side of defense and on the side of attacking. Good enough all these mechanics, we have the tutorials where I explain deeply, so you just need to notice your weakness, check the tutorial on that topic and then practice. We shall have the second part of build up. So use this time and practice today's logic while waiting for another part. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching.